Okay, next up we're going to be looking at our menus in Ableton Live. So the first thing you want to do to follow along with this lesson is go ahead and go to View and then toggle on Info View. This will pop up a little dialog box at the bottom left here that gives you a little bit of info about what you're looking at. So that being said, I would just advise you to kind of go through these and learn all of the shortcuts. At this point, I rarely ever use the top menus. The only reason I would do so would be maybe to export, but even that has a key command. There are a few key commands that I have not developed as habits, but for the most part, I know a lot of these key commands. So that being said, let's just dive in. Here, live, that's where you'll find your preferences, and as you can see, there is a command for that. Next, we have our file, which you can see we create new live sets, all the usual file things, and you could manage files, save sets. If you want to save a copy of a set for a version, you can do that with save live set as. Once again, there are shortcuts for that, which are shown here. Saving a copy, you can see in the info view there what that does. Collecting all and saving will sort of package all the contents of your session into one place so you can share it with others. Saving live set as template is a very useful feature in Live 11. You can create templates, which gives you a great starting point for any projects in different genres or just general templates, whatever you may need. And all of these templates are going to be conveniently placed in the browser, which you can then drag and drop certain elements out of into your current session. So there's a lot of ways you can use that. And like I said at the beginning of this course, you can create your own live set default. So my default would include things like a sidechain bus, certain audio channels, certain synths preloaded, maybe some sends, but really you can customize it however you'd like. I'm not going to go into exporting audio video just yet. I'll save that for the end. Editing. Here you have a lot of editing tools, but most of this you will never actually go to the edit menu to do. You will just use shortcuts. At least that's how I like to work. As you can see, it's the standard cut, copy, paste commands, and then the duplicate command D is very conveniently named. A lot of them are conveniently named to be the first letter of whatever function they do. So you can see how you can delete with delete. Deactivating tracks is 0. Selecting all is command A. Selecting loop, shift command L. Command L activates loop, grouping tracks, things like that. Cutting time, pasting time, all kinds of things for pushing sections around in the session view. Renaming, command R. Soloing tracks, arming tracks, freezing tracks. Another thing about these menus is that a lot of these things could be accessed by right-clicking certain areas of the interface. Command E and Command J are very important commands. Command E will split a clip. Command J will consolidate a range. Command U allows you to quantize. Shift Command U gives you quantize settings. One thing that you will actually have to come in here for if you want to have input quantization, upon recording your notes will be automatically quantized. You can set those values here under record quantization. Once again, simplify envelope is something you could do by right clicking an envelope. Next we have our create tab. All of this is how you create tracks, MIDI tracks, return tracks, take lanes, inserting scenes in your arrangement view, and then inserting MIDI clips, capturing MIDI, creating fades. A lot of these things can be done by clicking in the timeline. Next we have our view. This just shows you all the commands for toggling different aspects of your view. I'm not going to get into that too much, but you can easily just go in here and see or read everything about each one of these. Your options here, there's a very important check mark here to implement, and that would be reduce latency when monitoring. This helps in reducing latency if you're working with a computer that has low RAM or anything like that. Reduce latency when monitoring will just help you reduce latency when you're monitoring. Very important there. And other options, as you can see, a lot of this is all just commands, which makes it really easy. Lastly, you have help here, which you can check out the manual, search up certain things, check out forums, and check for updates. So that's everything in the menu bar. I would implore you to learn all these key commands, and even if you don't necessarily take the time to do so, now you have a general gist of where everything is. You've toggled info view, so now you can see what everything does, and we can continue, and I will still try to provide you with key commands as they come up.